Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Marilyn Darling Show. Today I am doing a special video for a YouTuber named Luke. He has a channel called Pens and Poetry. And he has a pen that he has been having difficulty with because of baby's bottom. Perhaps this will give him some better insight. So as you look at the bottom of a pen, at the bottom of a nib, you will see that sometimes it will look like a little baby's butt, and there will be a dip in between the nib, in between the tines, significantly for the ink to flow out onto the paper. And so it'll look kind of like there's a crater in between the two tines, like this, and you'll have to kind of you'll have to push your nib out, you'll have to push your pen down on the paper in order for it to kind of flatten out just enough so that the ink can touch the paper. I have that problem with this pen, which I have not inked, and I have that problem with this pen. Now you can't see very good, but I fixed this one from having baby's bottom. You can definitely see that there's still a gap there, but it's not quite as bad as it was, as it probably once was. Now I'm going to show you how I get rid of baby's bottom. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to find the roughest type of paper that you can find, whether that be a plastic paper bag or a card. This just happens to be some very rough textured cardstock that my friend Pierre gave me. And I find that you can use watercolor paper. Sometimes I will take a piece of watercolor paper and I will do this by just taking out a piece of watercolor paper. You can do this with mixed media paper if you don't have you can even do this with regular paper that you would find at the grocery store. Just might take a little longer, but you want to make sure it has some texture to it, so that way you can erode or scratch down the two little humps, so that way that it comes out flat enough to meet the ink to the paper. You can also take a smooth knife and kind of go back and forth on the back of the knife, and you want to rotate slowly while you're going back and forth. And you will kind of hear a little bit of a scratching sensation. And that's normal. Just keep going. You want to kind of put the down on the surface so that it's flat. So that way when you're writing, it's at the same angle. Then you can go to paper, and sometimes you'll get it right away. I use rough paper, like watercolor paper, to smooth it out. what am I doing here? I'm just buffing it out, basically. I'm buffing the nib so that way that when it does meet the paper, that the ink between the tines will meet the paper. Okay, so that way you get good, consistent lines. Okay? So just, if you have like maybe an old knife you can go back and forth on, or if you have a very used, I mean very used, nail file that you've buffed down, or if you even have one of these little things that you can use to buff out your nails. Now don't use the rough side. Find the smoothest one that's not made of silk. This one is the number 7, it's made of silk. This is the next smoothest one, and you can just take and go back and forth on that side a little bit to get it extra smooth. And while you're turning it like this, you want to make sure and turn it. Let's see, let's get real close here. And you want to turn your pen like this in your hand while you're going back and forth, and you will find a very smooth nib. Okay? I hope that does help. That is all for today. I want to thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Oka love you. Bye.